that led us to this. I bought a 1960 Ford Falcon, black and white. There's another concept called archetypes. Archetypes are themes that recur throughout history. George Lucas, you ever watch The Power of Myth on PBS? Every time PBS wants to raise money, they air a series of conversations between Bill Moyers and a guy named Joseph Campbell. Joseph Campbell wrote a book in 1948 called The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And George Lucas said that inspired him with the structure of the story of Star Wars. Luke Skywalker, Buddha, and Jesus are the same person. We each are on our own journey. My journey was coming here with no clothes on my back, the money in my pocket, in Minneapolis, ramen noodle, and my bicycle, and da-da-da-da-da. You each have your own mythologies. Each of your companies, the founding of your companies, have their own mythology. These are archetypes, and these are themes, but there are other themes that we all share. The black and white is an archetype of security and safety. So I'm tapping into that. My logo looks like an old gas station logo because I want to tap into the archetype of Americana. Because when I grew up across the street from a Texaco gas station, with these machines that had ice-cold glass bottles of Coca-Cola. That's America, baby. Hot summer day and a cold glass bottle of Coca-Cola. Who here still loves to even think about that, right? So that's a feeling you have. And if I look like that in any way, I tap into a little bit that's already inside of you. That's what great brands do. Nike inspires us because of what we already aspire to be. You can do this. It's very simple, very easy, and it can be authentic. Because the key is hybrids. So I'm thinking of black and white as a function. I need to unify my vehicles. In fact, I need cars that have safety belts and heat. And then lo and behold, Volkswagen, the bold and mighty forces will come to your aid as if the gods shone down upon us. Volkswagen comes out with a classic icon, updated, fuel efficient, with heat, safest car in its class, and the black and white looks perfect on there. Now the uniform, another opportunity, right? The brown uniform at UPS is part of the branding, it's part of the commercials. Every truck is a commercial in a way. That makes a lot of sense to somebody that doesn't have any money for advertising. We all can do this. Now I don't want to bring another damn polo shirt into the world. But I knew what I was looking for, but I hadn't found it yet. I need a uniform. I need somehow to be professional, but creative. That is such a tough paradox. Without, all the colors in the polo shirts are taken. And then, I'm sitting in a movie theater in 1996. I'm watching Apollo 13. There it is again, that moon landing. But the best part of the story wasn't the astronauts. It was these geeks who called their office mission control. If you don't think geeks are creative and have a sense of grandeur. But then I was watching going, oh my God, those nerds are wearing a uniform. They don't even know it. And I know exactly how geeks think. They're like, that is an efficient form of dress. Copy it. It has ventilation for the short sleeve shirts. So we showed up the next day saying, I got our uniform. Wearing a tie used to be an act of conformity. Now it's an act of rebellion. It's a sign of respect. It's a sign of humility. A lot of people saying, I'm not wearing that. Go work in CompUSA. I need people that don't have egos, that don't think they know everything. I want people who are also friendly, who shower more than once a week. It's hard to keep a white shirt clean. That's the point. So it's not just some gimmick. We're almost 20 years old. We have 25,000 people. This is no longer a gimmick. I didn't realize at the time, but I've only realized in the last couple of years. It's hard to keep a white shirt clean. It's a wonderful, efficient gate and litmus test for detecting humility, cleanliness. Now, the clip-on tie is something we introduced because if you've ever seen 10 geeks trying to tie a tie, we need consistency. Turns out cops wear clip-on ties, which goes perfectly to black and white. I mean, I told you I'm just making this up as I go along. Gotta get badges. We identify ourselves. You ask us for ID. I don't want to see driver's license. Anybody can do that. Now the only concern here is that we have gotten complaints, mainly out of Salt Lake City. Because kids you see riding around with short sleeve white shirts and backpacks and bikes, they don't work for us. And they're complaining because people keep stopping them, asking them for tech support. Now, I'm not prone to any one religion, so I don't discriminate. I've told the Mormon Church Geek Squad? Happy to teach your flock how to fix computers. Let's join. Let's join. Cops are complaining. Oh yeah. Cops are complaining. They're like, I keep getting pulled over for tech support questions. Now, this is another important part. This is kind of where we come to the social media part. What's also important is that, you know what I discovered? Is that all these things may not always show up right on the bottom line, and you can't calculate their value, but it does something for the culture of the company. And do not underestimate that. As leaders, as team members, you all influence the culture of your company. I told you you're already all in the service business, which means you already all have a culture. You have your own language, you have your own habits, you have your own mythologies and archetypes. Now these are agents. I began to realize that the brand has a greater power on them, and I want them to do a really good job when they come to your home. I want you to try these people out, find out how nice they are, how humble they are. And the ones that aren't, that's what I love about social media. You'll talk about it, and we're listening. And one way, people ask me, how do you keep the culture going when it gets bigger? You don't manage a company of more than a couple hundred employees. What you can do, though, is make sure they talk to each other. That's what's great about social media. I use Twitter more to talk to my employees than I do to customers. It's wonderful. They can just reach right out and ask me a question. If it's something personal, we can take it offline. Email me or call me at the office. I'm mowing my lawn. I get a tweet on my phone. I'm a new agent in London. I've got my uniform. I'm so excited to start. Thanks. And I'm like, thanks for being part of the company. Done. It costs me hardly any time. We can do it anywhere. That immediacy on both ways. When we announced we were going into China, before we could even ship the uniforms there, the first 3 agents went on Google Images, typed in Geek Squad uniform, went to the store and found some white short-sleeve shirts and clip-on ties in Shanghai and sent us photos. Like, that's what you're looking for, I think, in culture. There's our little smart cars in London. And Best Buy's like, we can't do black and white. They don't know what that is. I'm like, number one, whenever I'm in a hotel in Europe, there's tons of Law and Order plays there too. Rerun after rerun, actually. So first of all, I predict in 10 years, the cops in Europe are going to start painting their cars. This is not going to know why. It's going to be like one of those like But even better, if they don't know what it is, then it's original. They said, there's no word for geek in Mandarin. So we can't call it Geek Squad. I'm like, why is that a bad? That's an awesome thing. Was there a word for search before Google? Google's not even a proper mathematical word. It's actually a misspelling of the mathematical term. Yahoo? If I'd have gone to you 20 years ago and said, yeah, I'm going to start a company called Yahoo. It's up to $40 billion. You want me to invest? I get a better one. Check it out, check it out. 2007, I'm going to start a company. I'm going to call it Twitter, and I'm going to limit you to 140 characters of text. It's going to be $1 billion idea. Anybody want to give me any of their life savings? All those rules are gone. Companies are social networks. They're really some social networks for hire. The Best Buy thing, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, except to show you this one photo. Do you know who that is?
Adam West.
Yeah, baby. A lifelong dream realized. In 2002, by the way, your little thing is incorrect here. Geek Squad acquired Best Buy. Spending a little of Best Buy's hard-earned capital, I said, there's only one thing I want. We need an MC. Like at a marriage ceremony, somebody must preside over the ceremony. We must have somebody who blesses this holy union, this dynamic duo. He said, I want Adam West. Find him, bring him to Minneapolis, and I want him to wear a tuxedo, because I didn't want the uniform, just his costume had a sag all over him. This is the back of a 1969 Lehman Peterson presidential limousine I bought for $1,200 from a waiter at the old Grove in the 410. Like 15 years ago. I refurbished it. I ripped out the TV and put a little wet bar in the back. And I went and picked up Adam West at the airport. And there was this tall gentleman walking down the baggage claim area. And I was like, holy shit, that's Adam West! I got a little sign I did a laser printer called Mr. West. I was wearing my clip-on tie and I showed it to the shirt. And he's really tall. He's like 6'3". He's like, hey kid, you with the Geek Squad? I'm like, yes, Mr. West. He just thought I was the driver. I was like, I'm picking his ass up. idea was the tuxedo. I'm like, MindSurf. That's the last thing I have about this. What you're looking to do, the reason you want to do this is not just so you get attention and you save money in advertising, but the most valuable thing you'll get is employees who believe in the brand, because I have to rely on people who wake up every day alone and I meant like they don't go to the office, they make house calls. Oh. They have to wear a clip-on tie with white socks, drive around in a car that says Geek Squad on it. It takes a certain kind of person that doesn't take themselves too seriously. And that's the kind of person you want coming to your house. Okay? Somebody that you go, okay, I'm all alone, but if this gets out of hand, I could kick his ass. What I want is what this picture. This is something I discovered. I don't know when it started. It started sometime in the last 11 or 12 years. But do you notice anything about the photographs?
They're in uniform.
They're all wearing a uniform. It has become a secret code. It's one of our secret handshakes. One of them. And one of them is a sign of loyalty to the brand. It's not mandated. It's not written down anywhere. I don't enforce it. I didn't start it. It's something happening. Isn't this what happens on the internet, these memes that happen where they just spread? If you could have this happen in your company, as a sign of loyalty, it's like getting a secret tattoo. And you show your driver's license with that little black nub showing up. That's what we all want from our companies. We want people motivated, excited, engaged, and having fun. Listen, I tell them when they start Geek Squad, listen, we're not going to cure cancer here at Geek Squad. But you might fix a computer for someone who will. We're not going to solve world peace at Geek Squad. But you might recover a Word document